How to reduce noise when you're recording voiceover with your gameplay video. What you hear right now is me using a condenser microphone, the Solocast, and this is actually relatively cheap, but you hear me quite well, right? Thing is that I'm using external software to remove background noise. Well, it's not just background noise, it's also echo as well, but the thing is that without external software, my sound will probably sound pretty bad. So first, let's listen if I turned off all the noise reduction and other enhancements. Okay, so let's test it out. Let me be quiet for a second, listen. Now let me type and speak. You can actually see, okay. You can also hear that even sound coming from the headphones can maybe picked up by the microphone. So you can hear kind of a echo of it. Alright, so I'm speaking, recording. So if I play like that, would you listen to the gameplay video? Probably not, right? And now turned on, and now I'm gonna again type on the keyboard. I'm typing the same here, hard. I have red switches, mechanical keyboard, so you should hear it, but not now. At least not as before. And still there's background sound and lots of things, but still you hear me pretty good, right? So that's the sound coming from a $30 condenser microphone. So what are your best options when you want to record voiceover and without background noise? Well, the ideal solution would be, well, getting a microphone with a very good built-in noise reduction. Then you don't need to worry about anything. By the time the sound gets into your computer, it's already clear of any noise. The main advantage of it that you don't need to use any extra software, which can also, by the way, affect performance as well, which I also encountered using Nvidia Broadcast, which I'm going to talk about it a bit later on. And basically it works with everything. It doesn't matter which software you use, what you use, it just works straight out of the box. Now the best one, if you are searching for one, is the one with AI noise cancelling that uses AI technologies to reduce noise. One of them, for example, can be the SteelSeries LES USB mic for PC. As you can see, AI noise cancelling. Now, of course, there are many others, but one thing I actually realized that it's better to have a microphone even without having noise reduction, but one that can deliver high quality voice recording. But based on my experience, I realized that it's better to invest in a microphone that can deliver higher quality sound recording, even without having noise reduction, than going with one that has built-in noise reduction but doesn't deliver good voice recording quality. So what if you can get the best of both worlds? Well, there are some like that. For example, the Shure MV7 Plus, which is great for streaming, podcasting, but it comes with a higher price tag. Now, it does have really interesting features like real-time denoiser to reduce ambient noise, digital popper stopper to reduce positive sounds, improve auto level mode, as you can see, that adjusts the mic's gain based on distance, volume, and spatial detection for optimized audio levels. So of course, it's just more than noise itself, but here in this video we talk about noise specifically, but it has many features that basically lead to high quality voice recording in general that otherwise you probably need to use different maybe accessories or maybe other software in order to make sure that your voice sound as best as possible. It also comes from Shure. This is a highly reputable and well-known company in the audio industry. They are known for producing high-quality microphones, wireless system, and other audio equipment. So Shure microphones are widely used by professionals in various fields, including music production, broadcasting, and live sound. And this microphone has many great features like XLR support, USB. You can even connect headphones to monitor the audio. Anyway, it's a fantastic microphone. Alright, so that's one thing, searching for a microphone that has built-in noise reduction and maybe other features that you might find useful to improve the audio quality. Some of them, of course, because of these features, will cost more, especially if it comes from a very reliable and a company that has high reputation. What about software? Let's talk about that. So basically, noise reduction software can really help in reducing noise. I personally use them myself. Now you can use the software even if you have built-in microphone noise reduction in your microphone, but the thing is it's not recommended because of the diminished sound quality that can happen. In certain situations, it can lead to a very significant degradation in audio quality. Each layer of processing can introduce artifacts, reduce clarity, and distort the original sound. Sometimes even the algorithm used can interfere with each other, leading to unexpected noise reduction or even amplification of certain frequencies. Aside from that, even if you are talking about two software of noise reduction, if you're running, for example, that, each layer of noise reduction requires also additional processing power that can, let's say, strain your computer resources, especially if you're already using demanding software or hardware, or like, playing games, for example. Now, in some situations, it can actually work well for you. I actually do that as well in certain situations when I'm editing my videos, and it worked well for me in many situations. So it is an option, but just know that there are also caveats. And now, by the way, I'm using just the Nvidia Broadcast only, not the other plugins. Can you hear a difference than before? So yeah, sometimes you get diminishing returns, and basically you're better off with one good software that does great noise reduction than using several of them that can actually impair the quality of your voice recording. Now, if you're gaming, of course, the reason you want noise reduction is first of all, reduce background noise and interferences, ambient sound that can be distracting, reduce echo and reverberation, and of course, reduce mouse and keyboard clicks. This is very important. It can be very distracting. And other people's voices, like, kids in the background. And even if you're recording without headphones, it can actually reduce the sound that is coming actually from your speakers to some degree. So basically, when you are recording, of course, there are situations where you want the background sound, but in many situations where recording gameplay, you just want your voice to be heard and nothing more. By the way, every now and then, look at the top and you can actually see what I'm using right now as I speak. And basically right now, I'm not using any software to remove noise. And that's how I'm being heard, using, again, the Solocast. Again, I'm just using the Solocast for the entire video. So for example, let me do mouse clicks. All right, and let's type with the keyboard and speak. You can hear the keyboard, mouse. Let's be quiet a bit. All right, and clicking. You can hear everything, of course. Now, there are some very simple solutions, and the good thing about these solutions that I'm going to show you is that you just need to install them. Either you have Nvidia graphics card or AMD, and will just work with basically everything. The main advantages of that compared to other software that you might need to install a plugin, maybe for OBS, for example, or let's say another video editing software, is that this works outside of these software. So you can, once you install them and it works, it will work basically for everything. And both of them are free. So for example, if you have Nvidia graphic cards, those who actually are supported, you can actually download Nvidia Broadcast for free and install it. As you can see here, the ones that are supported, you need RTX cards in order for it to work. Basically, these cards have RT cores used for, by the way, AI features and ray tracing. And it can actually work with not a lot of impact on the system. And the same goes to AMD, so make sure to check it out first. All right, just so you know, when I'm speaking with the Nvidia Broadcast software, I'm using also echo reduction as well, not just noise reduction. Now, I did notice that certain games that actually the Nvidia Broadcast does affect kind of consume more CPU, and in some games it actually lead to reduction or some stuttering in games, just so you know it's not perfect. Now, other thing you can use are noise reduction plugins. Now, that's basically, it is fall, of course, under the software category. But the downside of that, well, it's more complicated to implement. And if you're using it in a certain software, it will just work for this particular software that you imported the plugin to. Now, there are, for example, VST plugins, which you can find quite a few of them, which are free. And you can use them to import them into, for example, OBS filters or DaVinci Resolve to add them on top of your clip, your audio, or just add it to the entire track, and it will just suppress the noise. One of them, for example, which you, by the way, you hear me right now using it in DaVinci Resolve, it's called Noise Suppression plugin based on CIFS RNNoise. You can find it here, by the way. Keep in mind, you can also add it to a software called Equalizer APO that does accept VST2 plugins. And basically, if you use it there and activate it, it can actually be available for you globally for anything you work. So depends. If you import it into a specific software like OBS or DaVinci Resolve, it will work specifically there, not globally. You can find more detailed information in that specific page to learn how to install it. However, if you have Windows, you can go to this particular address. From there, download the Windows version, extract the file, and then go to this folder, and you're going to find a file with ending with VST3. Now, to install it, for example, to DaVinci Resolve, copy the file to C Program Files, Common Files, VST3 folder. Now, if you don't have this folder, you can, by the way, create a folder where all your VST3 plugins will reside. You can do it even manually. Or you can actually check DaVinci Resolve, go to DaVinci Resolve and Preferences. Right, and then we're going to go, then click the audio plugins. Make sure the folder is listed there. You can see the other folders that VST plugins are on your system. And then go down and make sure that the plugin that you put there actually listed there, and you need to activate it. So you can see I have different plugins there. Clarity VX, by the way, is another one. And if we scroll down, it should be there, RNNoise Suppression for voice. So make sure this is checked, so it's active, and then you'll be able to use it. Now for your convenience, I'm going to explain. You can just choose Audio Effects here, go to Effects tab, tap Noise. You can find, by the way, the built-in one, I'm going to talk about it in a moment, or use the VST effects. You can just drag it into the clip. So basically just drag it into the audio clip, or another option is go and place the plus sign for your track. Make sure to be at the Fairlight type, by the way, at the bottom. It only works in Fairlight. There are different options here, but this one is actually not categorized. So if I go at the bottom, you're going to see uncategorized, you're going to see that it's there. So basically you can just add it to the entire track. So it doesn't matter what you record there, it will benefit from it. All right, so there it is at the very bottom, uncategorized RNNoise. And by the way, that chunk that you heard right now until now was actually recorded with RNNoise enabled. Let's, by the way, check how good it is if actually filtering out keyboard strokes and mouse clicks. All right, so now I'm talking and I'm clicking on the keyboard. Clicking and talking, clicking and talking. Now just clicking. All right, now talking and clicking. Now mouse clicks. Talking and mouse clicks. All right, and now let's do it without any noise reduction again. Clicking, clicking, clicking and talking on the keyboard. Red switches keyboard, mechanical keyboard. Now mouse clicks. Mouse click and talking. Mouse click and talking and clicking. All right. Alright, cool. You can see it was very effective. You can actually also change the threshold, by the way, to increase the threshold or reduce it to get even better result. Depends. But again, depends also on your microphone. It might not work well for every microphone and any voice. Now remember before that I showed you a noise reduction built-in one in Fairlight, so there is one. The thing is that if you have the paid version, you have an AI-based noise reduction in DaVinci Resolve, which is amazing, but if you're using the free version, well, unlucky. However, the built-in noise reduction, I find it to be pretty bad because it kind of color my voice, so let's try it out so you can actually hear how it sounds. Alright, so this is without anything, just the built-in DaVinci Resolve. And what I'm going to do, again, the free one. So I'm just going to type the keyboard. Alright, I'm going to click on the mouse and talk as well. Just now, let's just click. I'm typing now, yeah? Now let's type and talk and clicks and type, clicks and type. Alright. Yeah, so now I'm still using it, but I found it to be useful for reducing background ambient noise, but of course, as you can see here, not for clicks. Even I changed the sensitivity and put it on learning, it still doesn't provide good results, especially when I'm talking and typing on the keyboard. Sometimes, you know, if the algorithm is good, it can actually even isolate the voice so good that actually you won't hear the keyboard like Nvidia Broadcast does. But here, for example, if I speak and I type, it won't be able to do it well. Let me put, by the way, a fan very close to the microphone. All right? Very, very close. The fan is so close to the microphone. Now, let's see if it actually works well. All right, a fan, I'm talking, and there's a big fan in front of the microphone. All right, a big fan in front of the microphone. Yeah, even if I play with different frequency and settings, it just color the voice, and also it doesn't filter out the sounds as I want it to be if it's keyboard, mouse clicks, and fan. But let's try out with Nvidia Broadcast. All right, so let's do a mask. I'm bringing the fan now. All right, yeah, that's a fan. Now let me also click with the mouse, and now let's type with the red switches on the mechanical keyboard with the big fan towards. All right, now let's do the same. All right, I'm turning off, turning on. Here we go. Here we go. The fan is active. All right, just I wanted to distort my voice. I'm gonna put it on the side. And now type with the mechanical keyboard, red switches. The fan is active, very loud, very, very loud. It's a big fan near the microphone, not directly to my mouse, so it won't distort the sound. I'm still typing, by the way, on the red mechanical switches. Let's just let me be quiet and just let the keyboard in the sound of the fan sound. Did you hear it? All right, probably not. I'm going to listen to it in a moment and give feedback. All right, typing and fan together. All right, enough. Yeah, so of course I listened to it, and you can clearly see the advantages of having something like Nvidia Broadcast with AI noise reduction compared to the one built into the DaVinci Resolve, the free edition. Of course, if you go and pay for the DaVinci Resolve, you're going to have the AI version, which of course is significantly better. Now, keep in mind, there's also very simple ways to can just remove some of the high frequencies, so the one actually get included, and basically kind of reduce some noise. It can be fan noise and other noises to not be included in your mix. Now, there's also option to add plugins to OBS. I'm going to show you one also way to mitigate noise to some degree using gating. Alright, so for that, by the way, noise reduction will be completely off. So if I go to the input, in this case the new Nvidia Broadcast mix, just a name by the way, it's actually it's off for the Nvidia Broadcast mix, so no noise reduction. And if you go at the bottom, you can actually choose to add a VST 2.x plugin. Important thing to know that OBS will search for VST files in these folders, so you can just put them there. You might find it basically a plugin that will automatically install itself in those locations, so you're going to see it in OBS anyway. Or if it's an individual file that you want to install manually, you can just put it there. Again, for Windows, you can actually check this address to find out more information about locations. So basically, once it's there, OBS will recognize it and you'll be able to use it and add it to OBS. So everything now is without noise reduction. We're going to use a Reaper plugin. Basically, it allows us to negate noise using gating. So basically what we are doing is basically getting out some frequencies so they actually won't be heard when we're actually recording. So this is kind of very basic solution, but it might work for some of you. Let's take a look. The plugin is called Regate-standalone. There are various other plugins there that are available when you install it, but we're going to use the noise plugin called Regate. For example, the noise plugins. So what I'm going to do, if I'm going to reduce it now here, right, like it's 140 dB. If I'm going to reduce it here, you might hear, right, let's say, by the way, like activate the fan. Right, I'm activating the fan. Let's put it close to me. All right, and now the fan is closed. Now, if I'm gonna increase it to 40, you should hear my voice sound without the sound. Again, there's no noise reduction here, right? So now I'm reducing it. So the sound of them, I'm gonna be quiet, so just hear the sound of the fan. Right, so I can actually see with Regate, I'm basically gating sound, so you can see that when I'm even quiet, it's still, you're going to see it here. So if I break this over, you won't hear the sound of the fan. All right. So you can do it also if, for example, I do some clicks. Let me be quiet. You can still hear them, but if I'm going to take it a bit over, I'm not clicking now. Let's just. Now I'm going to click. Clicking. Clicking and talking now. Clicking and talking. Clicking and talking. Now we just click. All right, stopping clicking. Now you're going to hear the fan in the background. Or wouldn't you? Or would you? Right, now fan and me talking and keyboard together. Clicking, clicking, clicking. All right, back to Nvidia Broadcast. So as you can see, there was a problem there, right? First of all, it can negate sound of fans, for example, and other background sound from ambient noise. But you can see that it had a problem with the clicking, right, on the keyboard. I'm using actually red switches, so it does quite a lot of noise compared to, may say, one with the membrane. So it depends on the keyboard they're actually using. But if you use, for example, blue switches, it might be even worse. And the problem with that the sound of the click actually, in terms of the frequency, it's pretty close to my voice. And that's why it found it hard to negate the sound when I'm actually typing the keyboard compared to my voice. One thing you can do, of course, is keep your microphone close to your mouth and make sure you have higher volume when you're actually speaking. That might make it easier compared to, for example, if your voice sounds relatively low and it's even closer to the sound, the frequency, and also the volume of your keyboard when you're typing. But this is far than ideal for sure, and this is why AI solutions are so much better to negating noise. So there are ways to actually get the noise out pretty simply, but it's not really ideal for gamers, especially if you are typing keyboard, and there may be lots of other type of noise in the environment that can really ruin your voice recording. And by the way, there are plenty of other plugins, even paid one. For example, I use one from Waves, Clarity VX, for example, which is AI-based with different options that can help you come up with different mixes if there are, for example, you and a secondary person, or just you and with background noise, or many other combinations using AI and machine learning to reduce noise. You can even control the amount, very specifically the amount of noise that you want to filter out. Brilliant plugin. The results are incredible. It's a plugin, so you can add it to OBS, you can add it to DaVinci Resolve. But basically, it gives you like Nvidia Broadcast type of noise reduction. So if you're having a problem with Nvidia or any other software, this one can be a good alternative. There are plenty of other plugins, by the way, to improving voice. This is just, I'm talking here about noise reduction, but other things do exist, so you can check it out there. Good prices overall, but again, it's up to you to decide based on your budget and based on your needs. But it's not only noise reduction, there are plenty of other plugins there. I highly recommend checking it out. Now, keep in mind, there are plenty of other solutions out there, and the more will continue coming. The idea is in this video is to show you some things that I personally use, which I found useful. You've seen it in this video, and sometimes they combine different things together to get even better results, but also to give an indication more or less what options are there for you to use, whether it's plugin, for example, for OBS, DaVinci Resolve, Adobe Premiere, and other video editing software. Understanding that there are solutions that you can have already built into the microphone that will actually, make it not even necessary or useful even using external solutions like software. There are simple ways to negate noise, but they're not necessarily useful or effective. And there's some other solutions that you can use that will work basically on everything. You don't need to actually install a plugin. Just download the software and can actually work very well for you. If you're using, for example, Nvidia card or AMD card, a great AI solution to help you reduce noise. They're doing an excellent job, especially if you are gaming or streaming and you need to make sure that your keyboard is not heard or any other noise in the background like your kids or a fan noise or maybe street noise. It can basically negate all of that super effectively. So basically, a good noise reduction solution will be one that doesn't impair the quality of the sound while doing an excellent job in reducing noise from the environment, for keyboard clicks, for everything that you need to suppress that might be heard through your mix when you're recording gameplay and voiceover in your content. If you know about great solution, let us know in the comment section below what you use. I'm really interested, and I'm sure many others will be interested to hear that. Sorry for the long video. I wanted to cover many things and give you more in-depth understanding and ways to know what I'm actually using myself, and hopefully it will be useful for you. Let me read for you what do you think and what solutions you use. Thanks for watching, everybody. Also consider subscribing to my channel. I'll do my best to give you high quality content. Thank you.